Hello, this is Shirat again, and in this video we're going to be continuing with our R language tutorial. Before we do that, let me go and just remind you guys to please subscribe, comment, and like the video. So let's go ahead. And the topic for this video will be extracting elements from given vectors. So I'm going to be using the console. Let me go and expand that. So let's see. Let's put an example here. Let's go ahead and do my vec. It's gonna equal c. So this is gonna be a vector because of the c. Signify a vector. 5, negative 2.3, 4, 4, and 1, 4, 6, 8, 10, 4, 0, 2, 2, 1, and a negative 8. Okay, so here it's shown that I declare this variable to be an object with which is a vector now with these numbers. You probably have noticed there's a little square bracket, number 1 with brackets. That signifies that this number right here has an index of 1. In other words, it's the first element of the vector. Okay, so if I write down, for example, my vec bracket 1, 5 comes out, and my vec, the index of 5, the 4, because it's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This 4 is my fifth. That's the index of 4. I'm sorry. Yeah, 5. Index of 5. Okay. You can also find the length of the vector by using the command length. Put x equals the name of the vector. Okay. 10. So it means I have 10 elements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. What we can also do, we can also declare a variable. We can say let f equal the second element of my vec bracket 2. That's going to show that say 1, 2. So negative 2.3 is going to be equal to f. Enter. And this display f. There it goes. So f equals negative 2.3. And you can also notice right up here. Okay. Another command we can do, we can also say, I want to display the last element. Now let's pretend we do not know how, we don't know there's 10 of these elements, and they're giving us some vector, and we just know the name is my vec, for example, and we can say, okay, I want you to display my vec. I want you to display the last element, the last value of that vector, and we don't know which it is, so we can combine the length command to help us with this. Okay. So the length of the vector x equals my vec. It's negative 8. So what it's saying here really is that I want us to display the inside part is showing that the length is going to give us 10, like shown here. So it's replacing this whole command with the number 10, and because there's brackets around it, it's going to become an index. So it's saying that my vec with an index of 10, I want to see the value, which is the -8. Okay, that's one way to work with those. And again, you could use this, this mix of commands to extract the second to last element by subtracting 1 from the length. Let's try that. So let me do that. Let's see. So let's go ahead and we can declare a variable. Let's see. We can say my vec dot length. Let's make that equal to the last index or the last value. I'm sorry, the number of the length of the vector my vec. So my vec dot length equals 10. All right. So now I can say, okay, I want to just click a variable bar. Let bar be, let me move my mouse out of the way here. Let bar equal my vector bracket, the last value, which is we declare as my vec dot length. This is just an example how we can use a variable with periods. It doesn't need to be a whole number, a letter or a word or a name. It can also have a period in between. Okay, -1. So bar becomes what? That. So it says right here, let the variable bar or this object bar to be whatever the last number is -1, the new index. So if I just write down my vec dot len -1, it'll give me a 9. So this inside the bracket here, and it has a 9, and that's what it's looking for, the 9th number or index 9. The 9th number is the 4022 one. Okay. All right. Let's see what we can do here. We can also, well, with our knowledge of the sequences from the previous videos, we can also use the column notation with the length of the specific vector to obtain all possible indexes for extracting a particular element in the vector. So what this means is that let A equals the number 1 through the number the maximum numbers of values in this vector. So we're going to be using again my vec dot length, because we already declared this variable to be your numbers of values in that vector. So A equals. So assuming we don't know how long is this vector, we can always just declare a variable or make declare a variable or an object, and we can work with that to help us if we want to extract or delete a particular element of the vector. So if I want to delete, for example, an individual element, I can use the negative version of the index supplied in the square bracket. So for example, if I want to delete the first one, I'll say, okay, let let's see, let my vec2 now become my vec bracket -1. Enter. So my vec2 now is the same as the first vector, the first one that I created, but without the first element, which is the 5. Okay, and I can do the same thing. Instead of the first one, I can do the second one too. My vec. So now oops. Let's see. I meant to do this. Sorry about that. My vec3 equals my vec without the second element, and then my vec3 equals, there it goes. So the second element or value of my vec is -2.3, and I declared this object without the second one. Okay, that's what I was trying to do. Okay, let me clear this here with Control L, clear my console so we can see it better. All right, now let's go ahead and get a little more interested. So by using the square brackets operator to extract or delete value from a vector, it does not change the original vector. You're just you are subsetting unless you specify override the vector with a subset version. For instance, in this example I'm going to give you, it just finds it without second to last. So I'm gonna create a new vector here, and I'm gonna go ahead and take out the second to last. So this have QUX equals to be my vec bracket. Now I'm going to use the negative symbol here. Oops, sorry. The negative symbol. And that's what's going to subtract. It's going to take out parentheses, my vec, dot length. That's the length, which we know is 10. And it's going to subtract by 1. So it's going to become 9. But since we have that negative in front of here, it's going to actually take out the number in that spot, in that index. So if I write down QUX, doesn't have the, I'm missing the ninth index 9, the 4221. Okay. Okay, so let's see now. So if I want to put back together this number, I can do the following. Let's see. So I can do QUX length 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 move my mouse there. To be careful that my mouse is in the way. Comma bar comma QX, and then we have length x Okay. All right, so let's see what we've done here so far. So we went ahead and we grabbed the QUX, these numbers right here. Let's see what we did. So this P of code returns the value of the QX except for its last limit. So this part right here is returning all these numbers except for the last one, which is the -8. So right here saying, I want to see all the numbers except the last one. Okay. And then this one, the bar is adding the bar value, which is 4221 right here. And then this one right here is adding back in the last element, the matches in the element of my back. Yeah. So this one's just adding the last element. Okay. So now you're not restricted to doing things one by one. You can also have a vectors full of indexes and use that vector of indexes to manipulate certain, the other vector. So for example, we have a, let's see, we have not declared yet. All right, so we know the vector A. Let me click here. We know vector A equals 1 through 10. Okay. What we're gonna do now. All right. So if I want to if I wanted to display the first, the third, and the fifth element in my vector, just to display it, I can write down like this: my vec. I want to say it's now it becomes another vector of number 1, comma 3, comma 5. So here is displaying the first element, which is 5, the third, which is a 4, and the fifth, which is another 4. Okay. Now I can also make that, I can also do the following. I can also say that FOO equals my vec, the values that are from 1 through the 4th index. So now it's displaying the first, second, third, and fourth value or element of my vec. Now, in order for you to return elements depend entirely upon the index vector supplying the square bracket. So for example, I can use the, let's see which variable, the foo variable again, or the foot of the index and resulting extractions. So this, for example, I can say the length of the variable foo, oh sorry, I have x equals foo, 2. Oh, I spelled length. So it's saying I want to whatever the length, which I have it as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2 down up to 2. Yeah. So I have 4. This represents 4. I want the number 4 up to 2. Okay, we can do that. Let's see what we can do with these commands here. We can also do this. We know the foo is the number represents the number 5, the negative 2.3, the 4, and the 4. So we know that it has those numbers involved in there. I can say I want it to display whatever the length is. In this case, it's going to be 4 because it's only 4. Actually, it'll be 3 because I only have 3 elements right now. 4, 3, and 2. Hold on. Foo, I have the length of foo is 4. I have 5, negative 2.3, 4, and the 4. That's the length. So I want them to display the last one up to the second. So the last one up to the second element. So it gave me 4. It gave me back the 4, and the negative 2.3 in all that order. Okay. So here what we've done, we can pretty much we extract the element starting at the end of the vector and working backwards. Now you can also use the rep to repeat an index as shown as follows. So index, let's create a variable called indexes equal a vector with a number 4 with a repeated value of x equals 2 3 times of the number 2, and after that I will have a 1, a 1, a 2, a 3, up to a 1. Okay, so let's see now. And then a 3 up to 1. Enter. Okay, see. That means, oh, there's supposed to be an equal sign here. Sorry about that. And then if I display indexes. Alright. So we're done. I create a vector with the number 4. The number 2 repeated 3 times. The number 1. The number 1 again. The number 2. And the number 3 through 1 increments of 1. That's what I have there. And now I can say, I can actually go and display. I want to display the vector foo, but only the fourth, the second, the second, the second, the first, the second, the third, the second, and the first elements. Indexes. So the fourth, which is the number 4. So in foo right here is repeating the fourth one, the second one 3 times, and then the first one twice, and then the third one, the second one, and the first one. Okay, do that. Let's see what we can do. Oh, we can also create a vector after removing the first and third elements of foo. So for example, I can create this vector. Yeah, I can create a vector. For example, I can use, let's see, I can say let z equals foo without the index 1 and the third one, the first one, the third one. So we know that foo is 5, negative 2.3, 4, and 4, but without the first one, the third one, it's just negative 2.3 and 4. Okay? So now, let's go ahead and let me clear this so you guys can have better view. So let's go ahead and let's see. Let me create a variable. I don't think I'm gonna be needing this right here. I don't think so. I'll leave it here for now. Let me create a variable. Let's see. Oh, let me see. All right, let me create a variable with, let's create vector. Let's see, I have so many vectors. Vector 4 is gonna have the value of 3, 2, 4, 4 again, 1, 0, 0, and 5. So vec4 has these values, and as far as we can tell, and the length of these values is 8. So I have 8 elements inside there. Now, if I want to, for example, add a number to there, for example, sorry about that. So I can say, for example, vec4 equals, I'm sorry, not vec4, the first index of vec4 is going to equal the number 6. So I'm going to be adding 6 in the first index. So if I write down vec4, so the 3 got replaced by 6. So this is a way we can how we can replace a number. Okay. So vec for the first element of vec4 equals 6. So the 3, since it was the first one, it got replaced by 6. Okay. You guys can also have done this. Use this command right here. Okay. And that will also have given you the same result. Actually, let me and so first put the second one, and we'll put different numbers so you guys can see the results as 7. Okay. And if I do vec4, now the second element got replaced by 7. Okay. Now we can go ahead and also replace more than one values. We can go ahead and say vec4 index of the second element, the fourth element, and sixth element. I'm missing my lowercase c. Okay, there we go. So it's saying that I'm gonna be, the index gonna be 2, 4, and 6, because we have to, I cannot write down without the c. I need that c in there to represent this vector values here, or little values. Okay, so I'm gonna replace those with the following numbers. -2, comma, -0.5, comma, and -1. So vec4 now is, the second one is -2, the fourth one is -0.5, the sixth one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 equals the -1. So it got replaced. Okay. Let's see what else we can do here. So here you overwrite the second, the fourth. So here we have overwrite the second, the fourth, and the sixth element with the -2, the -0.5, the -1. Respectively, all else remains the same. Now by contrast, we can also overwrite the 7th to the 10th elements inclusively. So that means if I want to overwrite more than one element with the same number, let's see, got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8. Okay, so I can write down the following. I can say let vec4 location index of 7 through 10 increments of 1 get replaced. And I'm going to use this one just to be a little bit different, to show priorities with the values 100. So if I would display or print vec4, I get that. So this from the 7th to the 10th element. And notice that originally I only had 8 values, but because it went up to 10, it added 2 more. Okay. All right. I hope this helped out. Please don't forget to comment, subscribe, and like the video. Okay. Thank you. Bye.